These time skips keep getting lazier by the minute, and this is no exception, especially because by this point of the story, Asuna is the vice commander of the Knights of the Blood Oath. Anyone who has only seen the anime might ask themselves, when did Asuna become a commander? How did she get the role? What lengths did she have to go through to achieve that role? Details, man, they are important, and yet we don't get any because of bullshit like this.
Lure it to the village. That's how we get the boss.
Wait, if we do, the boss will go after the villagers!
Yes, that's the idea. And while the boss is busy killing NPCs, we can attack it.
But they're not just objects! NPCs are different than rocks and trees! Look, they're—
You think they're alive?
Exactly. NPCs aren't controlled by actual humans. They're just objects programmed from the game, and they certainly don't have feelings like you. They pretty much serve the same purpose as rocks and trees, so this argument of yours is invalid. Besides, the NPCs in this game probably say the same line every few seconds. You know, like Ducker.
We must save my family!
And unlike us, if they're killed, they can always respawn.
Sorry, but I'm not cool with that plan.
Dude, did you not hear what she just said? She said that NPCs actually respawn if they die. Unlike you guys, where death here means death in real life. Since when did you show any empathy for them?
What's with you guys? You and the second in command. You're always getting into it, and not in the good way.
This is the first time we've seen them disagreeing with each other about something. This line would make more sense if we actually saw more of that beforehand. Show don't tell, people.
What are you doing? Everyone in the assault team's working their butts off to clear the dungeon. And where do I find you? Out here, taking a nap.
Okay, but shouldn't you be with the assault team right now to clear said dungeon? What are you doing out here? Were you ordered by Heathcliff to check on Kirito?
Even if you're a solo player.
Except he's not a solo player. In the previous scene, he was in a meeting with you and many other players discussing how to kill the boss. Whatever happened to that anyway? Did it get resolved off screen? Bummer.
Today's weather is at its optimal setting. It'd be a waste to have to go to work on a day like this.
The opposite, actually. This is a death game after all.
Do you even understand what's going on? Every day here is another one lost in the real world.
Speaking of which, it's been almost 2 years since this game started. Based on that, we can only assume that their bodies have gone weaker in the real world due to lack of starvation and health. Yeah, they're in hospitals being controlled, but some people might die tomorrow, or the next week, or any other time, even in a hospital. Thank goodness ALO added a lockout function.
See? Doesn't that breeze feel good? And the sun.
Oh, come on. The weather's always the same here.
You're telling me that it never rains or snows on this floor? Somehow I doubt that.
Good morning.
It's not morning right now though, it's evening.
You get one meal.
Huh?
One meal. All you can eat, my treat. Then we'll be even.
With what? Is this about sleeping on the job? Because Kirito did that too. In that sense, you two are already even. Hey, we can't think of any names for a restaurant. What should we call it? Oh, I know. Restaurant. Great name. We interrupt SAO to bring you Gendo. Since all these players are obviously eating food, it's likely that they want to use the restroom. And since they can't log out and do that in the real world, how can they urinate or take a shit in this game? We don't see any bathrooms in this game, so what gives? This is why details are important. Everyone in the restaurant totally heard that girl's scream, but only Kirito and Asuna bothered to check on where it came from. So we later find out that this guy didn't actually die, he simply teleported. In that case, the visual effects should look different. This is what the teleport effect looks like. And this is what the dying effect looks like. It should be consistent with all floors, so why? I'm so confused.
Everyone, look for the player with the winner icon!
How could you be sure that it is any of the players in the crowd in front of you? The supposed duel took place inside the building, and there is no way the winner would just walk back out and join the bystanders while they could see the winner icon above them.
Yeah, but I couldn't see the winner icon on anyone.
It had to be a duel. It's a safe zone and a player died. A duel's the only thing it could have been.
It's likely that the winner left the scene after the duel was over. Surely you two would be smart enough to figure that out.
There won't be any time for napping, okay?
Okay, but you're the one who was napping.
You were napping too, you forgetful not-solo player. Again, you can't feel pain here, so why the reaction?
Could you tell us your name?
Sure. My name is Yoroko.
Why does the dub call her Yoriko? Just say Yoko. It's easier to say, and it's the official translation.
We were going to have dinner somewhere in town, but we got separated in the plaza.
Splitting from the group plot cliche, for no reason at all. I don't want to call out any ass shots in this series unless I have something meaningful to say, but this is one of the weaker ones. This girl should work out more. More squats, perhaps? They can come up with names for lodges, but not restaurants? If you're gonna give these buildings names, at least be consistent with it.
Oh, and by the way, try not to be so rude when you're speaking to me.
Oh, okay. Should I call you Ms.?
I don't think that's what Asuna meant when she said you were being rude to her. You told her that she doesn't have any appraisal skills in a tone that could be considered rude by those who don't take it lightly.
We'll need to find someone with an appraisal skill. I mean, it's pretty obvious you don't have one. Should I call you Ms.? Second in command? Lightning Flash?
Oh, never mind. Call me Asuna.
Again, your name in the game, which is the same as your name in real life, can be seen by anyone provided you're in the same party as them. I don't see how it's considered rude to refer to you as such in this case.
Back to the appraisal skill, though. Do you know anyone who has it?
I've got a friend who does. She's a weapons merchant. But she's really busy these days, so I don't think she'll have time to help us.
But it's nighttime. There's no way that Liz, assuming that's who you're referring to, would be busy at this time crafting weapons for multiple people unless there are night raids or something.
What the hell has gotten into you? You're supposed to be a solo player, man.
Akio would be great at Rewatch. Kirito should live up to that title. I didn't think I'd find something to say about this ass shot as well. By the looks of it, there are no panty lines on Asuna's dress, and the crease makes it look like she's not wearing any panties at all. But hey, at least they don't do it as much here as they do in the next season. Looking at you, Sinon.
Wait, stop!
What's the matter?
Are you out of your mind? That thing's already killed one person!
Who cares? You guys can't feel pain in this game anyways. And Kirito is at a high enough level that he wouldn't die instantly from stabbing himself in the hand. Plus, he must have plenty of healing potions to restore his health. That being said, this is still a dumb move on Kirito's part. Attempting to stab himself with the sword to see what it's capable of isn't the brightest of ideas. Thank you, pointless text, for telling us it is the next day. Totally couldn't have figured that out on our own.
When we formed it, Golden Apple was the name we chose.
Golden Apple? Did the players in your guild play Minecraft before this game?
Griselda was a powerful swordswoman. She was beautiful and smart.
That first word is used to describe how a person looks. Not sure if it has anything to do with Griselda being powerful.
How do you think a murder like this happened in a safe zone?
It's possible it was a fair duel.
But you said earlier that it couldn't have been some random duel.
And besides, his death was too elaborate to be some random duel.
Hardly what I call fair either.
Because it's unfair. I kinda hate to admit it, but it's true. The rules of SAO are essentially fair for every player in the game.
Even when a player has regenerative health when going up against 7 or so players, I find it hard to believe that the rules are fair for every player when one of them is massively OP. That window has been open for the entirety of this scene, but we later find out that this was intentional since Yoko had a dagger impaled to her back the entire conversation, ready to fall off the window. In that case, why would a stabbing sound effect play before she fakes her death?
A player can't kill another player inside a safe zone, but something else, like a ghost, could.
So now ghosts exist in this game for some reason. Yoko is in front of the chair when going psycho in this shot, but is immediately behind the chair after she stops. Naruto run.
You idiot! What's your problem?
What do you mean, what's his problem? He was just chasing after the supposed murder of Yoko. Or are you saying he was doing it a few seconds before the curfew bell, or whatever that was tolling for?
Damn it!
For some reason, the game has to make it very obvious that walls are immortal objects when a character slams it.
That robe was Griselda's.
How could you tell from the position you were at in the previous scene? Kirito was blocking your way. Hey camera, could you zoom a little closer to Asuna and Kirito? That would be great, since none of the other characters in the background are moving anyway.
Why would a ghost need a teleport crystal? Teleport crystal?
What is it?
Nah, it's nothing.
No, it was definitely something. You just lost your train of thought for a minute.
It's delicious.
You can't feel pain in this game, so you shouldn't be able to taste food here either. I've explained in detail in the last video, but the nerf gear doesn't function in a way that makes any realistic sense. Just have it function like congenital analgesia and you're golden.
Where'd you buy these anyway?
I didn't. I made it. Yes, I can cook. So what?
You don't cook bread, you bake it.
Should have been eating instead of talking.
You were the one talking too, though. Also, rest in peace, bread. We hardly knew ya. If only you were more durable.
Are you crying?
How can you tell from the 3 seconds of silence Kirito makes? Scary thing turns out not to be scary trope.
What did you do to me? Tell me, Schmidt.
The day we voted to sell the ring, I looked at my belt pouch and there was a crystal and a note with instructions.
Who were they from?
I don't know. I swear I don't know.
Then why would you trust a letter from someone you didn't know? Why didn't you just throw the letter away?
Then what happened to Yoriko?
I bet the dagger was rigged to her back the whole time.
But we would have seen.
Only if she turned around, though. Remember, she never turned her back to us.
Oh really? She never turned her back on you guys for the entire conversation? I call bullshit on that. Because if she were to go behind the chair and sit on the window, she would have to get up and walk to where the window is. And walk like any normal person would. Not walking backwards as if you were Mater the tow truck. While she's doing that, you would have seen the dagger on her back and pointed out as such. This sort of murder mystery is poorly executed. And Yoko was sitting up when she was talking. If the dagger sticking out of her back was anything to go by, wouldn't she have to bend over or be near the edge of her seat? The latter would be way less obvious.
Hey, you still have Yoriko on your friend list, don't you?
Now why didn't she check there to see if Yoko was still alive to begin with? Also, since when did Yoko ask Asuna to be on her friend list?
That's a hell of a catch. A big shot from the Holy Dragon Alliance.
Little did we know at the time that this dude would be the one waiting for the opportunity to slay Kirito for 3 whole seasons. Seriously, Prince of Hell is intimidating, and I kinda love that.
Let's get this show on the road.
Why did you stop? The horse wasn't that close to you. You could have cut Schmidt into pieces right then and there. Also, saving the hero in the nick of time cliche, I guess.
Come on.
So he's just letting them go? Did the sight of Kirito make them hesitant to fight? A fight that's 3-on-1? They are the Laughing Coffin Murder Guild. They shouldn't hold back on murdering people. Must be a slow restaurant service when only 2 people are here currently.
I think sharing storage with the person you're married to is wonderfully pragmatic.
Not so subtle foreshadowing.
So, how many times you been married anyway?
The way you worded that question implies that Asuna must have had plenty of husbands in the nearly 2 years since she started playing this game. If that really was the case, she'd be a sociopath for divorcing people due to loss of interest or something.
At the same time, I think it's also very romantic.
So, how many times you been married anyway? Wait, I didn't mean it! You were talking about how it's romantic and plastic and...
I did not say that, you ass! What I said is it's romantic and pragmatic.
Yeah, there's no way Kirito misheard what Asuna said. What kind of idiot mistakes pragmatic for the word plastic? Also, Kirito gets scared when Asuna points a fork at him, when he has fought monsters that are arguably scarier than her. I shake my head at this embarrassment.
How could you, Grimlock? Answer me! Why did you kill Griselda? Was it the money? Was the money so important to you that you'd kill your own wife for it?
I'm sorry, I can't take this anymore. Yoko's English voice sounds pretty bad in the line delivery, especially in scenes where she's supposed to be traumatized about the findings of the murder mystery. Her line deliveries do not reflect that whatsoever. This isn't a knock against the person who voiced her, I just feel that more emotion should be put into it, that's all.
In here, I was the one who was afraid, but she looked so much happier here. More alive than she ever did in the real world. There was nothing I could do about it. She changed, but then I realized I didn't have to live with the way she was. Murder is part of this game.
So Griselda changed who she was for the better and that's why you killed her? What? If you were so afraid of playing this game, would you get someone like Griselda to reassure you that you could play SAO without having any negative thoughts? That's what some people in this game are doing, spending as much time as they can living in the best way possible, experiencing joy and laughter despite the consequences for screwing up. I don't understand why you would kill your own wife just because she gained confidence. It's really weird.
You didn't love Griselda. That's not what you felt. You stopped loving her when you became selfish and possessive.
You could pretty much call this Grimlock's defeat, telling him a few words that should have been obvious to him from the start. That's all it took. So, are they gonna kill him? I hope so. What he did was terrible. He should be punished for it.
Anyway, I'm hungry after all this. I didn't really get to finish my dinner.
Well, if you were planning on finishing it, well, it's already morning, so it's too late for that now.
We should get back to work tomorrow. We've been off the front lines for 2 days.
And then you'll waste more time not fighting on the front lines and instead getting a blacksmith to adjust your sword. Hypocrisy really is a weird thing. Some bullshit. Griselda is dead. If that's a ghost, there is no way there should be more of those after the murder case was solved.
Do you want to friend me? We are in the same assault team after all.
But I'm a solo player.
Dude, you really can't call yourself that at this point. You've been on too many adventures with other players, some of which are in the upcoming harem, to keep that title anymore. Hold up. The last time we saw Liz, her hair color was the same as in real life. Since when did she dye her hair and why? Did she want to stand out from the rest of the players?
I sort of have this little meeting with someone.
Oh. I bet you have a little meeting.
No, it's not like that.
Since when did earrings become a sign that you're dating somebody? Asuna is probably wearing one to look pretty.
I bet he must be pretty special, whoever he is.
Huh? Did you say something?
Yeah, there's no way Asuna didn't hear that. This photo of Liz opens up a can of worms. I already mentioned the fact that her hair color is currently different from that in real life, which means she didn't dye her hair at the time the picture was taken. But the bigger cause of concern is that Liz looks so much smaller here. This implies that she was a child when she started blacksmithing with other people and that she's a teen in the current day. Yes, I know this episode takes place in June of 2024, nearly 2 years after the game launched, and Liz was undoubtedly younger at the game's launch, but no way was she as small as the photo leads us to believe. Does the game have a natural growth system applied to the players?
Good enough, I guess.
Your expression shows me otherwise. That piece of metal you effortlessly forged would be wasteful if you thought the sword you created from it was less than satisfactory.
Perfect.
All you did was remove your gloves, otherwise you look the same as before you did that, meaning already perfect.
Welcome to Lisbeth's Blacksmith Shop.
That sign said smith shop, not blacksmith shop. But okay, that thing on Kirito's chest looks like a fidget spinner, and this was before they became popular.
An elucidator. This is the gnarliest magic sword a person can get from a monster drop.
Gnarliest is a weird word to describe it.
How about this? It's the best sword I ever forged. I call it my masterpiece.
This pathetic light as fuck sword is your masterpiece?
If you break your sword, I'm not responsible.
If it breaks, then that's too bad!
What the hell were you thinking?
I'm sorry. I didn't think yours was gonna break so easy, honest.
Are you saying my sword, my masterpiece of a sword, was lamer than you thought?
Yeah, something like that.
Ah yes, repeating the same camera movement 3 times in a row. Totally not lazy at all. Is this a rule of 3 cliche? I honestly can't tell.
Floor 55 on the Western Mountain. There's a dragon there that eats crystals. According to the legends, it's supposed to store a rare metal in its body.
Judging by the way the episode cuts to you two reaching that floor, it probably wasn't difficult to do so. That must mean other players have already beaten the bosses up to that point. If they've seen the dragon produce the aforementioned metal, it is no longer a legend.
And they say that in order to get the metal, you need to bring a master smith along.
What difference does that make? As we see later, Kirito can get the metal just fine without you doing anything. I've already explained why this is stupid. Skip.
Are you going to be okay without this?
He wasn't wearing it before he gave it to you.
And if you're gonna be a jerk about it, you might as well call me Liz.
Okay. Got it, Liz.
Yeah, well, don't wear it out!
Why did that last part have to be echoed? Discount Game of Thrones.
Watch out, it's a breath attack!
Well, thank you, Captain Obvious. Show us some actual combat instead of these still frames, please.
Come on, stop playing with it and finish it off already!
Damn it! Don't come out yet!
What's the big deal?
What's the big deal? Kirito told you to hide in the crystals, and you disobeyed him. If you stayed put, you wouldn't have been caught by the avalanche. Liz is running away from the avalanche, and not back to where she's supposed to be hiding. God, this girl is stupid. They both survived this.
Are we still alive?
If you could talk, then there is no need to ask that question. For some reason, there are no holes in the snow after Kirito and Liz fell into the nest. We find out that the snow is deep, judging by Kirito falling onto it again after imitating Spider-Man. Point is, if the snow is actually that deep, they should have been buried under it to begin with. Also, apparently, Kirito can run up walls like he's Spider-Man. Naruto, run again.
Kirito, why did you risk your life like that to save me?
Because you made a stupid decision.
It's that special metal we came all this way for. No wonder it's hard to find.
Yeah, but you found it.
Without your help, mind you. Bullshit, you need a master smith to find it.
And that's not just an ingot, that's dragon excrement. You know, poop.
It must have been really hard for Bryce Papenbrook to say that line with a straight face.
Wait, this is supposed to be a dragon's nest, right? 'Cause dragons are nocturnal.
For bearded dragons? No.
Kirito! Don't freak out! But I'm falling in love with you!
What?
Is this really the time? You two are skydiving to your death, supposedly. They both survived this too. It's a bigger fall than last time. Hitting the ground should have outright killed them.
A one-handed longsword, right?
Yup. Make it awesome.
How can she make it awesome if all a blacksmith has to do is hammer the metal a few times before the game does the rest for them? What if Liz wanted to craft a sword after forging the metal herself? The machines we see in the room would come in handy.
Instead, I'd like to be your exclusive blacksmith from now on.
What do you mean exclusive?
It means you go to her, and only her, to maintain your swords. Could it be any more obvious?
Liz! Where were you last night? I tried messaging you, but you didn't answer, and I couldn't track you on the map.
Sorry, I kinda got stuck in a dungeon.
You didn't get stuck in a dungeon. You got stuck in a dragon's nest. And even before that, the Western Mountain doesn't look anything like a dungeon.
I went with him.
Kirito?
How did you not see him when you entered the room?
Kirito?
Hey, Asuna. Long time no see. It's been what, like 2 days?
2 days is not a long time.
Like that's my fault. Don't I always tell you not to fight solo?
Right. I get it now.
At least she's smart enough to put two and two together. Sorry, Sayaka, but you know the rules. In anime, the first girl is usually the one the boy loves.
Liz,
How'd you know I was here?
I scanned the whole town for you from up there.
You wouldn't do something as crazy as that if you just added her to your friends list. Just putting that out there.
I was also looking for something real, hoping I'd find it. The warmth of your hand, for me, that was real.
Putting aside my intellectual intelligence, I do like what this episode is going for. Its title, The Temperature of the Heart, is symbolic of how Lisbeth feels towards Kirito throughout their adventure. Being with him eventually warmed her heart, and the fact that she felt rejected when she found out the truth also felt real. Her feelings in this game are real, and she would say exactly that in front of hundreds of people much later on. It's why I can sort of sympathize with Liz. We all need something or someone to keep us warm and ensure us that we can make it through these tough times. It's something I didn't realize until watching the episode while writing this script. I see this episode in a better light now. It certainly warmed my heart by the end, so I'll give the show another like. The fight choreography here is inconsistent. One moment, still frames are used, then they use actual combat animation before Kirito finishes the enemy. This show about swords could really use more of the latter. I'm gonna be real nitpicky here, but you could have placed that timestamp at the beginning of that scene. Animal abuse. Also, what was it you said about the NPCs in this game a few months ago?
But they're not just objects. NPCs are different than rocks and trees.
If we apply the logic of what you said to animals like rabbits, which move like humans who are NPCs, you not caring about the rabbit's life and thus killing it makes you look like a hypocrite.
Kirito.
Apparently, Asuna and Kirito have off-screen stealth, since there were no sounds of footsteps before we see them.
I've got my chef.
What, chef?
He's talking about you, stupid. You yourself said you cook in episode 6.
Yes, I can cook. So what? I came to see if you were still alive.
I'm on your friend list. If you want to know I'm alive, just check that.
Considering she used her friend list to see if Yoko was still alive, Asuna should have remembered to use it to check on Kirito. In fact, if she wanted to see if he was still alive, how convenient that she ended up walking to Agil's shop, where Kirito is. The chances of that happening aren't high enough that she would think to look there first.
You got a ragu rabbit?
I'll trade you. All you have to do is cook it up for me and I'll let you have a little bite.
And as we find out later, that'll take little to no effort.
Half. Deal?
Yeah, deal.
All right!
Sorry, pal. You heard the lady. Guess I'm keeping it.
Yeah, but you could at least let me taste it, right?
You said he would keep it.
Wouldn't you rather have it for dinner?
Sure, it's just... well, who knows if I'll ever get another one.
So keep it.
So I don't know what you're complaining about.
Because the main ingredient is special, I won't have a problem if we used my place this time.
You say that as if Kirito has heard about your place, but you never mentioned it to him. Not from what I recall anyway. Why have you been supposedly dubious about Kirito visiting your house until now?
I'm sorry, ma'am, but I can't allow you to go home with such a shady character.
I don't know the extent of his shadiness.
Well, he has black clothes and black hair for a start. Hell, he has a black sword. That should give you the full extent of his shadiness.
But I know he's quite skilled. In fact, he's 10 levels above you.
Wait, how do you even know Kirito's exact skill level? Level stats aren't publicly seen, and unless Kirito mentioned his level to you at one point, you wouldn't know his skill level either.
In fact, he's 10 levels above you, Corridil.
Are you implying I'm inferior to him?
In terms of level stats, yes, that's exactly what she's saying.
Oh, I know. He's one of those beaters, isn't he?
You know, it's been almost 2 years. Let it go. It's likely that most of the players in this game don't care about the beta anymore and decided to just join a party with beta testers. You know, like how people in real life don't care about a person's past actions anymore, unless it has something to do with things like domestic violence or rape, and would welcome them back to start anew. Time heals wounds, if they're worth healing anyway. Remember when Asuna said this a few minutes ago?
You know, it's almost time for the next boss raid.
They should probably get on with that, unless it either happened off screen or they think this dinner is more important, which it isn't considering this is a death game.
How much did all this cost?
The room and the furniture cost around 4 million coal?
It's core, you idiots! Whoa, this is bigger than the rapid itself. You know, this is kinda stupid for anyone who wants control over how many slices they want to make out of that meat.
In real life, there'd be a lot more steps involved in preparing this.
As someone with rudimentary experience, I can tell you that Asuna is right.
I work better by myself anyway. Besides, most of the time, instead of helping, party members just get in the way.
Oh yeah?
Calm down, dude. It's just a knife. You shouldn't be afraid of that, especially when you're in a fucking safe zone. I still can't believe you think Asuna is scarier than the actual bosses.
My bad. Everyone except for you.
And Sachi, and Liz, and Silica. Hell, in the case of the latter, you saved her. She didn't exactly get in the way.
So, what do you say you and me team up again?
Hate to be that guy, but it's what do you say you and I team up again?
The front lines are dangerous, though.
Dude, you're literally talking to someone who has fought on the front lines with you. I think you can handle it.
What is this thing? Squishy.
Really, dude? Did you really have to go there? How stupid is it that the Lightning Flash, Vice Commander, and strong and independent woman Asuna has to hide behind someone to be protected from someone of a lower class than her?
Why are you behaving like this, ma'am? I'm only following orders.
Whose orders? It can't be the commander, since Asuna will say in a few seconds that it wasn't him.
Who ordered this? It wasn't the commander. And why were you lurking around my house in the morning, huh?
Future Stalker of the Year Kirito, everybody.
You have a bad habit of leaving without any warning.
Yeah, because that moment yesterday when Asuna clearly told you to leave her is considered leaving without any warning.
So for the past month, part of my mission has been to keep an eye on you in Selmberg.
Who ordered this? It wasn't the commander.
If it wasn't the commander, then who gave him the order? How can you be sure that it wasn't Heathcliff? If not him, then certainly not anyone in the same position as Kirito. Perhaps he made these orders for himself, which is probably an excuse to be a stalker.
If you want to try again with another weapon, I'll be glad to take you on.
There's no point. That was a first strike duel. You dealt block damage on him. The fight is over. You win. Saving the hero in the nick of time cliche, in a case where the hero didn't need to be saved to begin with.
I don't know how, but he cheated. You saw how he destroyed my sword. He must have used some kind of trick.
Yeah, it's called block damage. Also, if you don't know how he cheated, then you can't really make the claim that he cheated without any empirical evidence. Besides, it's probably not so much that he cheated, but more like he's a few levels higher than you. By episode 10, he's level 96, so it's likely that he's a bit lower than that at this point, but still higher than you.
As second in command of the Knights of the Blood Oath, I'm relieving you of your duties as my bodyguard.
Should have given him that order to begin with, instead of acting like a damsel in distress and hiding behind your Lord and Savior, Jesus-kun.
Having someone along who knows how to fight sure makes things easier.
You're just realizing that now? We saw you fight a bunch of monsters in a trap with the Black Cats 5 episodes ago. You should already know that not being a solo player makes things easier.
Boss monsters never leave the rooms they guard. I think we'll be okay if we just take a peek.
Considering that the doors close when you enter a boss room, I think not. Besides, if you enter a boss room unprepared, there is a real chance that you might get killed in one shot, in a game where your life is on the line.
Have a teleport crystal ready.
Oh yeah, because that worked so well the last time.
We must save my family!
That was scary.
Wait, not that one.
Teleport tapped!
Teleport theft! We can't use our crystals!
Yeah, that one.
There's nothing in here.
You just said that boss monsters never leave their rooms, and now you say this, because you are an idiotic individual.
The biggest advantage of using a one-handed sword is you can also use a shield. But you know what? I don't think I've ever seen you using one.
Maybe because he doesn't have one. You know that he has that sword he commissioned from Liz.
And how come you're not using the sword you commissioned from Liz?
I'd say the advantage of using two swords is that you can use them as a makeshift shield. Granted, it doesn't help much to block attacks compared to an actual shield, but it still helps.
How'd you get it to taste so amazing?
Chalk it up to a whole year of training and study.
This shouldn't be a surprise to Kirito, considering you told him last episode that you maxed out your cooking skill.
I was wondering what your cooking skill level is.
Totally maxed it out last week.
What?
Ladies and gentlemen, behold, the Plot Guild makes its triumphant return. Watch as they serve to advance the, you guessed it, plot.
Wait. Whoa, you're a solo player. What the heck are you doing with a...
Even Klein thinks that Kirito be with someone is contradictory to him being a solo player. I wouldn't call myself that if it wasn't actually true.
Hey, come on, say something. What's wrong, you lagging?
Dude, it's an MMORPG. The game is called Sword Art Online. You shouldn't be surprised that some players might experience lag due to poor internet connection or something. Actually, imagine that, being stuck in an RPG death game while your internet is shitty. That's just asking to be killed.
Hi, I'm Klein. I'm 24 and single and looking for
Overlooking the fact that, again, you cannot feel pain, meaning that Klein shouldn't feel pain from getting punched in the crotch, this relationship wouldn't work, since Klein just said he's currently 24 and Asuna is 17. That's a 7-year age gap, and we all know the consequence of being in a relationship like that. Also, either Kirito knew this shit wouldn't work given their ages, or he's just jealous, which must be why he punched Klein in the balls. Also, I believe Klein has seen Asuna before, back in episode 5, so we shouldn't be surprised at how she looks.
Kirito and I are together because we're sort of in a party.
You two definitely are in a party. There is no sort of. You literally sent Kirito an invite to join your party. Just be upfront about it.
I'm with the Aincrad Liberation Army. Lieutenant Colonel Korvats.
I'm Kirito, solo.
Sure you are.
He's right. You're not solo anymore. Stop calling yourself that.
We also got a map with directions to the boss room.
Then hand over that map and we'll be on our way.
You want us to just give it to you? You even know how much of a pain in the ass mapping is?
Relax, they only asked for a map, and Kirito should know the way back to the boss room, so he could just give it to the army with no issue, like he does here. These two aren't falling sideways here. They are not commuter trains. They shouldn't be running like that. Shouldn't the door be closed? As far as we know, the boss fight started once the Liberation got in the room. How much health were these guys on before they came here? They were already looking exhausted during their encounter with Kirito. If HP in this game serves as a threshold for a player's energy, do you think they would have been at a low amount of health? If so, they should have used healing potions before taking on the boss. That way, shit like this wouldn't happen.
Use your teleport crystals! We can't! The crystals aren't working!
I've never heard of a trap like this being in a boss room before.
Okay, a trap like this in a secret treasure room that you can't warp your way out of was already stupid enough. But a trap in a main boss room, which you need to clear in order to reach the next floor, is a bigger failure of game design right there.
Hey! Hang on, Korvats!
I can't believe it.
Nice going, Key. You could have used a healing potion on him, provided you have one, which you should considering the situation. Asuna doesn't lose enough health from that. So, about that regenerative health. What happened to it? This only confirms my belief that the auto health regen in episode 4 was only used as plot convenience for that episode. If you're gonna have your main character be OP as fuck, at least be consistent with it.
Faster!
Gotta go faster!
Insert your shitty gotta go fast meme. See? This fight is good. Prior to Alicization, very rarely did we see any fights in this series that were this well choreographed. Had this season given us more fights like this instead of the lazy still frames, then they would be just as great. First person point of view in a crucial moment of the story.
How long was I out for?
Just a few seconds.
Then why the tears? Kirito was only unconscious for a short amount of time, and he was almost out of health, not completely. Even if tears were justifiable, he's OP as fuck for Christ's sake. Make it that way you will.
What the hell did you do just now?
It's an extra skill I picked up. Dual wielding.
Dude, are there prerequisites?
Yes, it's called being the fastest player in the game, which is kinda stupid. I would have liked it better if the skill was unlocked through a secret quest or something.
I was so scared. If you died, I didn't know what I'd do.
Continue being strong and confident. That's a start. Man, how far have you fallen? You always have to rely on someone else now.
Outside of boss fights, I don't believe we've ever actually met. Kirito.
Well, there was that conference on floor 67. We talked a little bit there.
I don't recall a scene like that being in the anime. If you're gonna reference something like that, give us a flashback while these two guys are talking or something. Don't just tell us that it happened. Once again, show, don't tell.
And now here you are, trying to poach one of our best players.
If she's that important, maybe you should do a better job picking her bodyguard.
You have my sincerest apologies for any trouble you might have had with Kuradil. But you must understand that we simply cannot allow our second-in-command to leave the guild just like that.
Who the hell cares what you think? You don't get to decide what Asuna does in this game. You're not her father or her guardian. Her trouble with Kuradil should be enough for her to leave.
No one's ever seen the commander's HP bar dip down into the yellow zone before. His invincibility is way beyond the normal game balance.
Judging by this and this alone, we know straight away that Kirito is not going to win, making this battle incredibly one-sided, even for him. I know I keep complaining that Kirito is OP as fuck, but even he has his limits compared to Akihiko, Heathcliff, Kayaba. The crowd here looks very ugly.
I'm sorry about this, Kirito. I didn't think this would be such a big deal.
Oh really? The edgy solo player versus the game master, each with their own unique skill. Don't see why you wouldn't think this would be a big deal.
Now's my chance!
Cheating. I did actually check to see how long the fight actually lasted, and not counting the time freeze before Heathcliff cheats the system, it was actually a few seconds shorter than what the results say, specifically 83 seconds. I know, really stretching here, but still, a little accuracy is all I'm asking for.
I'm in a guild.
You've been in a guild once before. This shouldn't be news to you.
Why do you avoid guilds? And people?
Except he doesn't. I mean, he's talking to you right now. Not to mention, he wasn't deliberately avoiding people like Liz and Silica. And he'll say in a few seconds that he's been in a guild before, so your query is pointless.
But their levels were way lower than mine. And I thought if I told them what my level was, they wouldn't have wanted me around. So I decided to keep my mouth shut about it.
If I were in a guild and my stats were much better than the other players, if someone asked what my level was, I would just be upfront about it. You know, instead of lying to them in order to hide the fact that you're a beater or something. I mean, being level 40 isn't a sole indication that you're a beater. Do you really think people would believe that you are one just by revealing your high stats? I imagine they would be thrilled and think you'd be more than a valuable asset to the team. But no, you made the problem worse for yourself.
I'm the reason the whole guild was wiped out. If I hadn't hidden the fact that I was a beater, I could have convinced them how dangerous that trap really was.
Hell no! You are not to blame for their deaths. You told them to stop, thus convincing them of the likelihood of that room being a trap, but they chose to ignore the wise one like a bunch of idiots and open the chest. They brought their deaths on themselves. Kata berating you wasn't justified. Once again, your level and status as a beater wouldn't make a world of difference as to whether they died or not. Stop saying it is your fault when it clearly isn't.
I'm not gonna die.
If you have to say that, then you're gonna die. Which does happen, by the way, but she'll come back to life in a way that is a complete ass-pull.
I can't die because I have to protect you.
Kiss! 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 Aww.
If he's gonna be joining us, then it's my job as commander of the front lines to take the kid out and evaluate his skills.
But that's ridiculous. He doesn't need evaluation. He's stronger than you.
She's right, you know. I mean, have you seen his fight with Heathcliff? Despite losing to him, Kirito has already proven to be quite skilled. Whatever evaluation he needed is well past him as far as she and I are concerned. So basically, Asuna will be great at Rewatch.
Kid, in 30 minutes, I want to see you at the Western Gate. Hoorah!
Are you a US Marine or something?
We finally had a chance to be alone.
Well, Godfrey gave him 30 minutes, so you two have plenty more time to be alone.
Today, I'll be checking out how you react to dangerous situations. So, I'm gonna need you to hand over all the crystals in your storage.
Even my teleport crystals?
Mm-hmm.
But what if they need them to go back to the headquarters quicker? It's not like they would use them to avoid any enemies. Teleport crystals serve to warp players from one location to another from a long distance. This isn't chaos control.
Seiya!
Yeah, I'd feel that way too. Time to remind you all once again that you can't feel pain in this game. Godfrey shouldn't be feeling pain here. Was that changed in any way? Never explained.
You know, I just killed an innocent bystander because of you.
It wouldn't have mattered whether or not you killed Godfrey because of Kirito. You were a Laughing Coffin member supposedly before you joined the KLB. Yeah, Laughing Coffin, the guild that is notorious for murder. You know, doing that wouldn't help, because the sword would still cut your hand, thus diminishing your health faster than it already is.
Die! Die! Die!
Saving the hero in the nick of time cliché.
Heal!
Apparently, one healing crystal is enough for a full health regeneration. This game is broken. Wow, it's like they weren't even trying to animate this sequence. Even Kurodeel's mouth isn't moving as he's screaming his supposed pain. I guess that's one way to show a character getting her own back in a murder.
I don't want to die!
Wait for it. Wait for Kurodeel to backstab Asuna because he's a murderer, and called it.
And you fell for it, bitch!
Saving the hero in the nick of time cliché again. Rest in peace, Kirito's hand. Although, how did he get it back later?
You murdered me.
And Kirito would later go on to have PTSD from killing him and other Laughing Coffin members, even though he had a good reason for doing so. But I'll get more to that when I cover that arc someday.
I'm sorry. This was all my fault, wasn't it?
Character saying it's their fault when it's really not cliché. What? Why are you doing that here? Why not do it in the bedroom? You know, where you two have sex off screen?
Don't look.
What did you think he was gonna do, you idiot?
What are you waiting for? Get undressed. Don't just sit there. It's embarrassing.
Not as embarrassing as you getting undressed in a fucking kitchen.
No, wait, I didn't. I mean, I just. All I wanted was to spend the night with you tonight and. Not the other thing.
You. You
Kirito only said that he wanted to spend the night with you, nothing else. Why would you expect him to comply with your sexual desires when that wasn't what he asked for? Ass. I think the reason they didn't show us the two having sex was because they didn't want the show, or at least this arc, to be too graphic for its PG-13 rating, which is funny considering later arcs would touch on more disturbing topics of rape and molestation pretty explicitly.
I was just having a dream about my old life.
A dream? Within what is essentially another dream? Inception cliche.
We get married.
Okay.
Well, that's rather strange. Usually these marriage proposals happen at the end of a season or show, not in the middle of it. Also, this proposal would have more impact if, as I've repeated ad nauseum at this point, the arc didn't skip significant periods of time over and over and over again. Imagine how much better this arc would be if it took up a whole season, and not just half of it. Anyways, we got ourselves a marriage proposal. Surely there'll be a wedding scene of them getting married, right? Right? Well, yes, but it's not in the anime. It's in a pachinko machine. It just came out after I finished writing this script, but it is really sad that a freaking slot machine shows us Kirito and Asuna getting married instead of the actual TV show. Wouldn't it have been better if we got an OVA out of this? I guess that's too much to ask of A1 Pictures, right?
I did not say that, you ass!